Hey everyone, it's Zay. You've heard this before, but man is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse good. I wasn't sure if it would stack up to the first film, but it delivers, and I think it's my new favorite Spider-Man film. Unpopular opinion here, Into the Spider-Verse was not the best Spider-Man movie. I think I liked Far From Home more. Into the Spider-Verse is very lovingly crafted, very stylized. I just thought Far From Home had the better story overall. But anyway, this blew it out of the ballpark. As we know, Into the Spider-Verse was aesthetically amazing. It was something we really hadn't seen before in animation. The comic booky inspiration, the deliberate choppiness, the fun little things they added in. And it wasn't style without substance. There was a lot of substance to back up the style. But then, others started copying it. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, great film by the way, but it uses that art style. The upcoming Ninja Turtles uses it. So I guess the team were like, oh no, our choppy comic book style animation isn't that unique anymore. What do we do? Simple. Crank up the style. And the substance. They cranked up the style and the substance so that this film has no equal. I'm going to get right into it. There will be spoilers. I'll alert you when we get into the big spoilers. We start following Gwen's perspective in her universe. We immediately get to see how artsy this film is with the music and the visuals. That's another thing I love about this trilogy. Well, it's not a trilogy yet, but these movies were both artsy and fun. They prove that artsy and fun can mesh together. We learn how Gwen's friend Peter Parker died. Turns out he became this universe's Lizard. That's certainly not what I was expecting, but anyway, we get a cool fight scene with a vulture from the Renaissance universe, which as far as I'm aware is not an actual Spider-Man comic universe. And two Spider people show up, Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, and Just Drew. Both of them are really, really cool. And Gwen escapes with them out of her universe, and after that we follow Miles Morales, who has an encounter in a convenience store with seemingly villain of the week, the Spot. Spot is a trypophobia nightmare, a man whose body is full of holes. He's apparently the scientist Miles threw a bagel at, kind of like how the villain of Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge was one of the alligators Frogger jumped on. So this scientist was affected by the destruction of Kingpin's super collider, which has caused his body to become featureless and covered in portals. Well, I suppose portals are a feature, I mean like no facial features, which he can also fling and make them appear remotely. So Miles fights him, and while he's not particularly powerful at the moment, he is very tricky. Punching and webbing him often just goes through his holes, and containing him is only a temporary solution. He gets away to fight another day, because he is not the villain of the week, he is the main antagonist of the movie. Well, one of them, but we'll get to that. Both of the two main villains are awesome, and I'll get into this soon enough. Anyway, Spot finds himself inside himself after falling in his own hole. That sentence sounded very strange. If you're thinking that him referring to his holes is kind of gross and creepy, don't worry, the writers realize this too, because they made a joke about this. Spot goes through a bunch of Spider-Man universes, including the Lego Marvel universe, which is fun, and Sony's terrible Venom universe. After this, he goes back into Miles' universe to power himself up with more spots. Gwen reunites with Miles, and we get this beautiful emotional moment with them sitting on the underside of a piece of building. Gwen tracks Spot and goes after him, as he is considered an anomaly, which if left unchecked, can destroy entire universes. Miles follows her through the portal. They go to Earth 5101, and they find themselves in Mumbattan, in a world where Indian culture has supplanted American. Here, they meet more quirky spider people. With the last movie, the strange and funny spider people were a big draw. Penny was very underutilized though. From memory, she doesn't actually use the robot in combat. Anyway, we have more Spider-Man here. A lot of them are bit characters, but they are well written and very fun. And we also get some important ones like Hobie, the punk rock Spider-Man, and we get this really funny chai tea joke where Miles is made to look like an idiot. Funnily enough, he made Spot look like an idiot earlier when he said ATM machine. You know, the making a joke about the redundancy of... But Mumbai is very well done visually, by the way. The thing about Into the Spider-Verse, lots of beautiful visuals, but there's really only one setting. Here, the animator's creativity is uncapped. They catch up with Spot, who aims to absorb power from this universe's Alchemax super collider, and it's impressive how threatening he is. He now essentially has a big amalgamated hole on his midsection. Like I said, he's a great villain. His backstory is simple, but it functions well enough. He's got awesome powers that keep the heroes on their toes. He looks cool, and once he gets to the super collider, we're getting into heavy spoiler territory here. Once he absorbs the power from the super collider, he essentially becomes an eldritch god. He's now more Spot than not, and the animation is incredible. The 2D and 3D thing, the aura he emanates, the way he glitches.
Our future.
Miles receives a vision of what Spot is planning. That is, going back to Miles' universe and killing his father. The building collapses and causes havoc and mayhem, and Miles rescues Police Inspector Singh, the father of Pavita's squeeze. Miles is taken to the Spider Society's HQ, which is beautifully rendered out and has lots of fun different Spider-Men. A lot of neat references like Ben Reilly. I don't know if they're all from the comics. I'd be surprised if Marvel made that many different versions of Spider-Man. We meet some familiar faces and Miguel O'Hara. O'Hara is angry at Miles now, really angry. You see, Inspector Singh wasn't supposed to be saved. It was a canon event. It's something that had to happen for the time stream to function properly. Because of Miles' intervention, Pavita's universe is destabilizing and will break apart. As you can tell, the plot gets meta here. The iconic scene where Spider-Man's Uncle Mentor figure dies, the police captain dying, these are canon events. Miles realizes that Spot killing his father, the police captain, is a canon event, and that O'Hara intends for this event to occur as planned. Miles disagrees, but O'Hara isn't budging, and long story short, we get an awesome chase sequence in which Miles is pursued by hundreds of Spider-Men. It's wicked. I mean, it's the logical conclusion. The writers were tasked with making a universe-hopping story and can use all of the Spider-Men, and they butt heads, so the obvious thing to do is to have a climax in which all of them chase Miles. They chase him out of the building, and down a freeway tunnel, and onto a high-speed train, and then the train goes vertical. It's just mwah. O'Hara catches up with Miles, and rather than subjugating him, apparently decides to just kill him since he considers him an anomaly. The spider that bit him was from another dimension. It wasn't meant for him. Because of this, there's a universe with no Spider-Man, where New York has fallen into chaos, and on top of this, the Peter Parker in Miles' universe died because Miles replaced him. Okay, so I kinda do like the meta, but it might be a bit too meta, to the point of, ironically, breaking Spider-Man canon. It seems to imply that there can only be one Spider-Man per universe, when that simply isn't true in the comics. Miles' Spider-Man coexists with Peter. Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter. But anyway, I'll wrap it up there. I'm not going to spoil it too much, even with a warning. You really need to see it for yourself, but in setting up the next film, they throw some big curveballs and, oh man, I am excited. I'll make a prediction for the final installment in the trilogy. Miles and his friends take care of Spot early, and then O'Hara decides to finish the job, attempting to kill Jeff, as well as Miles, since he considers him an anomaly. Anyway, this was a fantastic time, so it's already out of theaters, but if you haven't seen it, see it. And thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you liked it. Let me know what you think of the comics, and subscribe if you want to see more. But yeah, thank you to everyone who watches these. Thank you so much. So until next time, see ya!